Hola, ¿cómo está? Happy Monday. That's Moscato with a little strawberry. Just did my hair in the wash and go. Please, don't pay attention because it's still wet. So it's trying to dry. Let's go ahead and focus on what we're doing today, which is meal prep. We're doing meal prep for the week. My first meal, because I'm going to do two meals this week. That way I can kind of go between and have two different meals. Hopefully before the end of the week, I'll do one more meal. That way I have 3 meals to last me the whole 5 days. Meal number 1 today is going to be meatloaf. We're doing meatloaf, macaroni, cheese, and yams. Really simple, really easy ingredients. You're going to need your ground beef. You're going to need some Lipton. You're going to need some crackers. These are Ritz whole wheat crackers. You could use any kind you like. You're going to need some seasonings. I have Mrs. Dash, black pepper, parsley. I've got some green peppers, onions, mixed, and an egg. So those are the ingredients I have in a really big bowl. So let's get started. Because I don't have a place to put my camera, I'm going to turn the camera on pause. I'm going to go ahead and get everything in the bowl. And here we go. Okay, so I've got all the ingredients in there in the bowl. I've got the crackers squished up, the onions, the meat, the egg, the Lipton, all my seasonings. Now I got another roll of crackers just in case these are not enough. The next thing you're going to do is mix all of this together. I've got my oven on 325. Okay. You're going to put this in the pan. You're going to bake this for about, I want to say 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how big of a loaf you're making. Uncovered. And the last maybe 5-10 minutes, go ahead and put your ketchup on it. Oh, gotta add some ketchup in there, people. Hold on. All right, that was about 2 to 3 squirts, a couple tablespoons of ketchup. And then you can put ketchup on top. I don't, because my daughter doesn't like it. So I will have ketchup inside, not on outside. But you can put some on the outside. I usually spread mine on the outside for myself personally after it's done. So let's get this mixed and let's get started. Okay, this is the finished product. It is ready to go into the oven, uncovered again, uncovered for about 30 minutes, okay? And we're gonna just let that cook. Look at those onions and peppers and that garlic or parsley. Now you can put garlic in this. That's what I'm missing. I did not put any diced garlic, minced garlic, garlic powder. I don't have any of that, and I forgot to get some, so I don't have any garlic in this. I usually do put garlic in some form in my meatloaf, as well as you could put Worcestershire sauce in it, or Worcestershire, however you pronounce it. I pronounce it Worcestershire. So I don't put that on there when I use it. You can put a little bit of cheese inside. I usually do that sometimes, but not today. It's real basic, just a basic meatloaf, loafed out evenly on all sides, ready to go in my oven that's now been preheated to 425. Let's do it. All right, so now that my meatloaf is almost done, it's time to go ahead and do my sides. These are my candy yams. And I just zhuzhed them up with some butter, regular granulated sugar, brown sugar, butter, a little dash of cinnamon, and about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay? Here is my water for my noodles, for my boxed macaroni and cheese. I just salted my water and it is to a boil. So I'm going to go ahead and add my macaroni and cheese in there now. And I'm going to go ahead and stir my candy yams up and let that cook on medium heat. This is going to cook on high until we get everything boiled, and then that's it. Hold on for that. All right. So after, let me move this out the way. After you get it to a nice little boil, you see here, I put it down onto medium heat, so you just let that do its thing. Oh, that's going to be so good. And then this right here is my noodles, and we just let that boil. I kind of stirred it as soon as it got in the pot. You want to kind of stir it to make sure that your noodles don't stick up when they first hit the pot, but that salt also does something to the noodles to make it not stick. Now, naturally, that also seasons your noodles, you guys, and then we're going to drain that, and so you won't have all of that salt. And I only put a couple of tablespoons in that water. It's a big pot filled about halfway with water. It's only one box of macaroni and cheese, so that's plenty of water to make it do its thing. And when that all is al dente, then that's when I'm going to drain it. And then I add more cheese to the macaroni and cheese just to give it an extra better taste. But I'm not putting this in the oven or anything. I'm not going to add an egg. You could always do that to make it more homemade. Okay, if you want it more homemade looking or homemade tasting, you could take these noodles, drain it, add an egg, your seasonings, your extra cheese, and you could put it in the oven and let it finish cooking. I'm not going to do all of that because, again, this is meal prep for the week. And I don't mind box macaroni and cheese. I make it taste delicious. I just really want to get this done and over with, okay? And then checking on I did end up putting aluminum foil because my food was cooking rather fast. And I want to make sure that that's cooking all the way through. So I put aluminum foil on top just so that I wouldn't, excuse my stove, just so that I wouldn't have it in the oven cooking on the outside really fast and not really cooking on the inside. But that's almost done down there, you guys. Another 5-10 more minutes. And that'll be done. And this right here is going to need about 15 to 20 minutes to cook, because I like for those juices to get nice and inside of each of the potatoes, sweet potatoes, so that they are nice and candy yammed like. Okay. So I'm going to let that cook for about 15-20 minutes. That's about how long it's going to take to cook these macaroni and cheese. So let's look at these noodles. It has expanded in size. Okay. You want to make sure you're stirring at the bottom. You're stirring at the bottom so that you can get all of the noodles and that I'm going to get close. When they get white colored like this, that's how you know your noodles are done. Now you could also test it by taking a noodle and touching it. Woo! Hot, hot. Hot! That fell on the floor. Let's try another one. Okay, that's hot. Obviously. Let's cool it down a bit. Alright, so you can test your noodle by taking one singular noodle. Make sure it is cooled off, people. And you want to touch it and kind of make sure that it can spread open. That is a well-cooked al dente noodle. See how easily that broke apart? So, turn your heat off on that. We're going to drain these noodles. Let's see what happens next. Let that keep cooking. Stir this occasionally. You don't want it to burn. You don't want it to stick. So again, you're just kind of stirring it. It's going to get thicker and more delicious. And then also you can taste it. to see if you need more anything. Oh, but it's perfect. Perfect. I don't do measurements, okay? So how much butter did I put in there? 3 tablespoons. I went 1, 2, 3. And it probably was more than 3 because they were pretty big pals. So maybe 4 tablespoons. You can add less or more. I say taste it. How much brown sugar, how much sugar? I sprinkled the whole top with regular sugar. And I added maybe a cup of brown sugar. Maybe a cup and a half. Ingredients, you all, because this is how I like mine. I eyeball. I don't never measure. Okay? Okay. So I have the butter, the milk. I don't know. I put enough milk in it to just cover the bottom of the pan. 1, 2, 3 big scoops of butter and the cheese. Next, I'm going to put the seasoning. Okay, so the seasonings I put in there was Mrs. Dash, pepper, and a little bit of parsley. I didn't mean that with the parsley. It's not going to hurt anything. Just makes it look fancy. And we're just going to stir that all together. Just season it till it seasons on top. My daughter's probably going to freak out. Like, what is this on top of my macaroni and cheese, Mom? It's parsley, Alex. Get over it. Parsley just adds a good color to things. I mean, it's not going to hurt it. It's not going to change the taste. And I grabbed it by accident, not even paying attention that my pepper and my parsley came from the same thing. So now what we're missing in here, that's plenty enough milk. Just a little bit, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan is all y'all need. So we're going to turn that heat back on to medium high. And let that kind of do its thing. And we're going to add some cheese towards the end once everything melts in this together. The cheese is what is going to thicken it up. I like butter, okay? So if you don't like as much butter, people, please add less. Again, this is doing its thing right here. This right here, my nigga. This shit right here, my nigga. It's cryptochronic. See how it's thickening up? So we can turn this off, because that's about done. You want some juice. You want some oil or some butterish juice, but you don't want it to cook all the way down. But it's falling, look. These are falling apart. When it does that, you're good. About 10-15 minutes, like I said. Enough time to have the macaroni in there. I like to break up these big pieces, me personally. Just makes more. Not too much. Like, I don't want it to be broken up to where it's mush. You see it mushes all by itself, but just to give it a little more texture. Kind of mix that up, and that's it. All right, let's get our meatloaf. Okay, so I had to cut my meatloaf just to check in the middle because, again, it was cooking a tad bit too fast. That's not burn, that's flavor, people. And it's cooked all the way through. If you don't see pink, it's cooked all the way through. So, I'm going to let that sit. And our meatloaf is finished. Again, if you wanted to put a little bit of, ketchup on top, you could. I'm not. I promise you this is not burned. I promise you. It is delicioso. I do like my food to have color. And here's the cheese for the meat. Oh, for the... Yeah, I just added a layer of cheese on top of my macaroni. And now I can stir it. And you just want to turn that heat off after it melts everything and it kind of comes to a boil. Turn that heat off and let it juju. Oh, yeah. Nice, thick. Now, I put a little bit of sugar in my, just a tad, because my kids are funny acting and they like sugar in their macaroni a tad bit, you know, make it taste a little more homemade. I didn't put a lot because I don't like it like that, me personally. So, that's good. And this is our prepared meal. So what we're going to do is we're going to let everything sit and kind of congeal, harden up, okay? Then we're going to go ahead and put this into our meal prep storage bins. And I'll show you how that looks in a moment. But dinner is served. All right. So I'm going to make a bunch of little plates. All right. I got my mac and cheese. I can add a little more cheese to that if I like. I got my meatloaf, which I'm going to put my ketchup on that in a minute. And then my candy yams. And I'm going to put that in the refrigerator. And that's my meal prep, you guys. Hope you enjoyed this. I hope you guys make it, try it, see if you like it. If it's delicious, give me a thumbs up. Come back and tell me how it tasted. If it turned out horrible, come back and tell me how it turned out. Let me take a taste of this just so that you can know that this is not burnt at all. Oh my God. No, that's not burnt. The outside is caramelized, but the inside, oh my God, that's delicious without anything on it. Try it, y'all. NikkiNuance out.